If you have an employee that's working more than 40 hours in a week, more than 8 hours in a day, and they don't clearly meet that exemption, you really want to make sure that you're paying them that overtime. And you should be keeping track of the hours they work. A lot of employers think, you know, it's nice, it's like a family here. We spend a lot of time here. Most employees spend more hours of the day at work than they do with their family, and so it's easy for it to feel collegial. But that doesn't relieve the employer of the duty to maintain accurate records of the hours worked. Every employer has to keep track of the hours worked. If you don't, if the employer doesn't, then the employee's testimony alone is sufficient to establish the number of hours worked. So even though you know this employee only worked 8 hours a day, and that employee gets upset and brings a labor commissioner claim, and he stands up and says, no, I was working 12 hours a day, if you don't have records where they're clocking in and out, what the employee says is likely going to win. So it's important to maintain that documentation. The law requires you to document, keep accurate records of the lunch break. You don't have to document the rest breaks, but you do have to document the lunch break. The way the labor commissioner wants it is they want to see a time card that says time in, time out for lunch, time back from lunch, end of the day. So they want to see the actual hour. And preferably, the time records is something that the employees are filling out. If you have the supervisor filling that out, that's fine, but the employees should be signing it off. A time record doesn't do you any good if it's not accurate. There are some employers that say, just put down 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, and don't worry about it, regardless of whether or not that's accurate or not. That's a big mistake because now those records are not reliable. Remember I talked about earlier, if you don't have accurate records, then the employee's testimony alone is sufficient to establish the number of hours they work. The same thing applies with the meal breaks.